What is this face? If you think this guy is cool, I'm sorry, you will not see the pearly gates. If this is like your idea of a cool guy who you should emulate in your life, there is no heaven for people like you.
Andrew first appeared on our screens as a reality TV star.
I've never been in a situation in my life so far in my 21 years where I really want something and didn't get it.
He had found an arena where controversial personalities thrive.
I had to manipulate a lot of people to win.
But something happened when Andrew was on Big Brother, one of the biggest reality TV shows of all time.
This is Big Brother. Due to events in the outside world, Andrew has had to leave the Big Brother house.
He was reportedly removed from the program when a video surfaced of him slapping his ex-girlfriend and then beating her with a belt.
Hey, stupid bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen? No. Did I say it?
Public outrage simmered down after Andrew released a video of his ex, claiming it was all part of a so-called kinky game.
It was just pure game. It's just what we used to do.
But what the public didn't know, and what we can now reveal, is that around the time that Andrew was playing Truth or Dare in the Big Brother pool, the UK police had informed the production company that he was under investigation for 2 incidents involving other women.
3 incidents, actually. One was filed in 2013, and then there was 2 more filed in 2015, and that's why he got removed from Big Brother.
1 of rape, and a further
2 of rape.
Of physical assault. In May 2021, Tate made reference to his arrest in an appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I was like, who are you? They're like, you're under arrest for a suspicion of assault of this dumb hoe. And I'm like,
wait, this is dumb hoe?
They didn't, but I'm going to protect her anonymity because I'm a nice guy. Dumb hoe.
He raped that woman that he's calling a dumb hoe. He raped her.
Same period, the Tate brothers were recruiting women for a webcam sex business and creating the first of their many online courses teaching other men how to do the same.
I am her everything. It doesn't matter if I fuck someone else because I'm her everything. She has nowhere else to go.
It was called the Tate PhD, or pimping hoes degree.
She was a fucking hoe, and I spotted it instantly because she didn't humble herself when she was supposed to. And I'm glad I didn't waste any more time on her because she's never going to be doing like my other girls do, living in my house, letting me fuck other women, remaining loyal, and fucking bringing me coffees and doing as I say.
Andrew has closed down the pimping hoes degree to focus on the Hustlers University.
Luke, your screen's compromised, yeah? So keep it super fucking vanilla.
But with a historic rape allegation in the UK, and the Romanian
saying that his screen is compromised because it's being filmed, it's like so dramatic. His screen is compromised, by the way.
Police now looking into him for rape and human trafficking. I want to find out more about his methods of recruiting women.
Did you at one point say that the girls who started as your girlfriends and then worked for the webcam industry, 100% of the profit goes to you?
I think in a lot of households in the world today, the man is in charge of the investments. I think that's not an uncommon thing.
You're not married to these women. It's not your wife. You're not dating these women. They're working for your business. He's also said that he lies to them about how much money they bring in, and he pretends he's taking taxes out for them, which is tax fraud, by the way.
Tell me a view.
And also fraud.
I have that you think is genuinely insulting or destructive to society. I'd like to hear it.
You prefer younger women who are 18 or 19 because you can leave an imprint on them?
No, when I say leave an imprint, I mean that. I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that, like, if I get her, I can brainwash her. I'm not trying to say that. If you meet a girl who's 22 and you're her second boyfriend, she's probably like a nicer person, less jaded, less upset, less suspicious.
So you like to be in a position of power?
It's not being in a position of power. It's
100% about being in a position of power. Everything you just said is like saying that you could, okay.
I enjoy to show her amazing things. You're trying to attach things to the situation.
So this is what the foundation for Andrew Tate's persona is, and it is fundamentally insecurity is like the basis of his online persona, because only wanting to be with people who have never been with anybody else is like the epitome of insecurity. You can't handle the idea that you are being compared to somebody else, you know, in any manner, because you are scared that you're not going to be the best at whatever it is, or you're scared that she's not going to fall for your stupid tricks, you know, because she has experience when it comes to dating.
Which aren't true.
5 years ago, you said rape is a terrible thing, but if you put yourself in a position to be raped, then you should bear some responsibility for that.
Okay, so first, we agree that rape is a terrible thing. Point I'm trying to make is
you've done it, so I don't think you think it's that terrible. You've done it more than once. So I don't believe that you think that it's a terrible thing.
the best way to prevent yourself from being raped is to have a degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in positions to be raped, as opposed to standing there saying that rape shouldn't happen because, or men, raise our boys better. You know what else shouldn't happen? Robbery. I want the freedom to walk down the road with $1 million in cash.
Is it fair to compare the desire to walk around with £1 million in cash to someone wanting to just walk around their own city at night?
Well, female beauty is extremely valuable.
Just to be clear, you can choose not to carry $1 million in cash on you. There's no need for you to ever have that much cash on you, number one, but you can choose not to do that. I can't choose not to walk outside as a woman. I can't choose to exist inside not as a woman.
Of course, female beauty is extremely valuable in the eyes of men who seek to exploit it.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do.
Have you heard the term lover boy before?
The lover boy method?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, okay, this is before he was charged with sex trafficking, by the way, or before he was arrested on suspicion of sex trafficking. This guy is, you don't just know the lover boy method. That's not just some information that you have obtained through other means. You're a sex trafficker. He's not a narcissist. Narcissists trick people without thinking they are tricking people because they are smarter and better. But Tate knows he has to trick women and carefully chooses which women to trick and where to do it. This is why he moved to Romania. He's fake and hates women, but not a narcissist. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good understanding of Tate.
Romantically involving yourself with a woman and then making money off of her in some sort of sex-adjacent industry.
Firstly, I would call the webcam industry far closer to psychology than sex. The webcam industry has prevented more male suicide than any group of therapists, any action group, any charity ever would.
Source? You got a source for that one? Because I'm not buying.
Right?
Is that true? How can you measure
That's
that?
not true.
Well, it's not about measuring, it's about my personal experience.
One of the concerns that people...
It's not measuring. It's just, I know it. I mean, you're not a man. You don't understand male sex drive. I know. I don't have to be a man to know that saying that the webcam industry has saved more men from suicide than any other form of treatment for mental health issues is ridiculous and untrue. You don't need to be a man to know that that's bullshit. I mean, he just said that he has no way of verifying that.
People have about that
Okay, no,
lover boy
first,
method is that
let me correct you, because I'm a professional.
is that it's similar to, or people might consider that a form of grooming.
Okay, so I'm a professional, so I have to
Also, women have sex drives. I don't know if you knew that.
I have to change what you just said. I have to at least challenge you on it. Nobody's concerned about anything that happened 10 years ago when a bunch of girls got rich. There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single
No.
female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
Andrew says no woman has complained about him personally. He won't let us speak to the women who work for him, so for now it's difficult to verify this claim.
Also, I mean, it's not true because you've been reported for rape and arrested on sex trafficking, with 6 of your victims coming forward and cooperating with the police investigation.
But I have spoken to many women who complain about the effect Andrew's rhetoric is having on their lives. To protect them from harassment, I've agreed not to name them.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate to the point of threatening to release revenge porn unless I took back what I said on social media against his sexist, misogynistic views.
It's like a virus, the things that he's spreading. The scariest thing is I have no idea if the next guy I meet could be an Andrew Tate fan.
As a teacher, it's definitely worrisome. There are boys who look up to him, especially those that are maybe vulnerable and they're sort of going to go into the real world carrying those violent views with them.
I'm 14. The boys at school my age think that it's okay to say horrible things like women are men's property and they get to do what they want with them. Makes me really disappointed in my generation.
I'll say I've seen a massive uptick in misogynistic rhetoric just on Twitch. since Andrew Tate. Also, women's sex drive isn't nearly as high as men's sex drive from what I know. There is no evidence to support that. There's no evidence to support that. Absolutely none. It's just like this old wives' tale that people say so much that they believe it to be true. That's definitely not true. Also, I mean, it's celebrated in society for a man to sleep with a bunch of women, and it's frowned upon in society for women to sleep with men or sleep with several partners. So it makes sense that that myth would be perpetuated, but there's no evidence to support that. Women like to get it on just like guys do. Why is this hard to understand? Oh, you're a child. Okay, I'm not gonna talk to you about people's sex drives. There were also all those centuries of basically selling women to other men as breeding stock without caring what their sexual interests were. Yeah.
His views represent a new...
Yeah, I'm like fairly certain that you had to click something saying that you were over 18 before you started watching my stream.
...era in modern misogyny.
Start talking to some bitches, saying me and my man are gonna fuck you.
Where you can now not only talk openly about subjugating and objectifying women, but doing so actually garners millions of committed fans.
They don't believe the level that you can operate at when you're actually a G.
The most hardcore of them have traveled here to Romania to join the war room.
If you spend $5,000 to meet this fucking dork, if you spent $5,000 to meet this loser, you deserve to lose that money. I'm sorry. Imagine like saving up all of the small amounts of money that you're making that aren't going to food and rent to go meet this dork. $5,000 to also get beat up. Does he let you rub his head for that money?
The war room.
The war room is a fraternity. We're a brotherhood which is designed to inspire the best from our brotherhood.
Oh, these are the dorkiest looking motherfucker. I'm sorry. To inspire the best of them. Look at homeboy in the middle right here, front and center. I mean, first of all, not a single chin amongst them, but come on. This is the best you've got? This is the best you've got? Fools of their money are soon bartered, yeah.
They have to have the mentality and the pedigree to survive. There's tests, and if you do them, you can stay inside.
To Andrew Tate.
You paid $5,000 to raise a glass of wine and a toast to another man? You might as well have just lit your money on fire. That's less embarrassing and less of a loss than spending it to go do this.
At the top of Andrew's fraternity is a small group of wealthy and powerful men who all stand to gain significantly from the expansion of his empire. This inner circle is not happy that I'm here.
Whose granddad is in fucking Andrew Tate's inner circle, okay?
After our testy exchange this morning, Andrew invites me to watch him train.
Have you ever boxed before?
No. But it turns out he's planning on teaching me a lesson.
Who's got spare gloves?
There you go. I appear to have unintentionally walked into a situation where Andrew Tate is going to train me how to box.
Punch me. Come on. Punch me. Knock out.
Knockout. All right. You're beating up this guy because he asked a question you didn't like. I would have just said no, but...
Oh, look, you're bleeding already. It's only round one. We've only warmed up.
You picked the guy who you knew couldn't fight, despite the fact that you've had years of formal kickbox training. You feel like a big man for beating up someone who has no training and was not going into this prepared to fight you. Like, that is so embarrassing. That is so insecure.
We've got 10 more rounds.
No fucking way.
I meet and get punched in the face by the inner circle of the war room. In the world Andrew is creating...
Also, there was no training on how to fight prior to this. It was just, hit me. Hit me. Like, you didn't teach him how to throw a punch or how to guard himself.
Not only are women to be subjugated...
Sorry, that almost felt like I got knocked out.
But men defined by their capacity to inflict violence.
Okay. Tap out.
You stopped. You were like, all right, pause, time out. Like, if that were having a street fight, would someone stop?
Who is he getting in a street fight with? How many street fights have you gotten into? The answer's probably zero. Because, like, there's this fetishization of traditional masculinity and this idea that you'd be able to beat up anybody. Who the fuck are you just fighting in the street? No, it's not a reality. You're not living in a world where you're just getting fucking approached on the street. Like, there's not just a bunch of guys in leather jackets walking towards you, snapping like there's about to be some sort of, you know, epic 50s fight, like a fucking knife fight or some shit. It's not happening. You don't need to know how to do this, okay? It's unrealistic.
No, so that's your reaction. I need to fight back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
The War Room is a network. We have 10 meetings a year. The next one's going to be in the mountains of Transylvania.
What public officials are you talking about?
You could do it, but I don't know, my friend, if you're prepared.
We've left Bucharest and we're driving into the Carpathian Mountains to meet Andrew and his inner circle for the War Room, which is going to involve something called the Test. I've made it into Andrew Tate's War Room, where 100 of his biggest fans have flown in from all across the world, each paying $5,000 to have their manhood tested by the one they refer to as Commander.
Oh, bro, I'm sorry. Do they not understand how like homoerotic all of this is? This hyper, you know, heterosexual ideal of masculinity is so homoerotic. Like, you are rolling around on the ground, sweaty and shirtless in those short booty shorts with other dudes. You're calling this man Commander and letting him test your manhood. Have you stopped and considered that maybe, just maybe, this ideal of masculinity isn't all that you've chalked it up to be? Bro, this guy is so fucking ugly.
None of us know what he has in store.
I welcome you all to the test.
May I swallow,
There is a cage
Commander?
fighting event, and every single one of you has been paired against a professional fighter. You will fight in the cage on national television, and it's a real fight. There are two paths you can go down. You can agree to fight, or you can decide that it's not for you. You have 1 hour to think and make a decision.
That's gonna be a hard no from me. Maybe I'll do a yes, just to learn a little bit more of what happens, and then...
Bro, what are these guys wearing? What are you wearing?
Definitely pull out at some point.
Does anyone have any questions to ask me?
I know this guy's holding up a camera, but it looks like he's like praying to Andrew Tate.
There's no training before this fight.
Bro, this sounds like a huge... Did you have them all sign waivers beforehand? Because this sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Like, if they get injured, you haven't provided them with any proper training. I highly doubt you're going to be providing them with proper equipment or the proper setting to be participating in this activity. There is no way that this is legal. I mean, maybe in Romania. But if you did this shit in the United States and you didn't have these people sign waivers, and, you know, waivers only cover so much. If you're grossly negligent, the waiver doesn't cover that.
If you've been walking through life too lazy to fucking train, is that your problem or my problem?
Oh, come on. Why'd they have to do this? I mean, fuck this guy. Paid $5,000 to suck off Andrew Tate. But the fact that they said, if you walk through life too lazy to train, and then the camera zoomed in on this guy, I'm sorry, that's funny. Also, why doesn't Andrew Tate go on those leftists, the Young Turks, for like an interview? I don't personally like either, but you work there, right? Because you're leftist, so you can, well, I mean, he can't do anything now. He's in prison, but he talked to Hassan Piker and he was a huge bitch about it. He accused Hassan of making his microphone louder than everyone else's, despite the fact that it was not Hassan's Zoom call. And then he kicked him out of the call because he was being a pussy about it. Why doesn't he go on to left-wing programs to discuss his ideas? Because he can't defend his ideas. And because he's too stupid to handle pushback from people who are going to do even a modicum of research about the topics they're going to discuss. He's too scared to talk to people who disagree with him. Can't y'all do Zoom interview? He's in prison. He's in jail. We could do a Zoom interview with him, but we can't now because he's in prison.
Couldn't help overhearing some disagreement within the war room.
I think he wants to talk to you, wink, wink. What the hell are you doing?
Oh, God, what is this? What on earth are you wearing?
It's gonna be fine, bro. We have an ambulance, we have medics. No one fucking knocked out.
See, even this guy is like, bro, this is a fucking massive risk. You're just opening yourself up to so much, you know, potential lawsuits, litigation.
Don't worry about it.
At the center of it all was Andrew's right-hand man, Iggy Semmelweis.
What the fuck was that?
Here I will share with you my secrets.
He's the self-proclaimed...
The funniest part about this video is that all these guys had to stare at his hand, just going like this, amazed, in amazement, as there was no effects happening that were going to be edited in later in post. They had to just watch him go like this in front of them and be like, whoa, that's so cool. How did he do that?
Greatest hypnotist in the world.
You will learn the power of hypnosis.
And seemed to have an agenda that expanded beyond the Warrum itself into something larger and darker.
Your sons will marry their daughters. Your daughters will marry their sons. You will create legacies.
Huh? Huh?